I am so happy. I'm sitting next to a Tejano legend, a pioneer. You've been called a hero, a Grammy Award winner. Am I missing anything?
Long guy.
A lawn,
Lawnmower man.
a lawnmower guy. He just came from cutting his lawn to do this podcast. And of course, it's an honor to have Mr. David Lee Garza here with us. Thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
for being here on the Mike Robles podcast. First of all, congratulations. You just won a Grammy Award.
Yes, the Latin Grammy.
The Latin Grammy for your CD called
Just Friends.
Just Friends.
Yes.
And Just Friends was just that, right?
It was Just Friends, yeah. I invited
friends.
lots of friends that I'd done work for in the years, past years, and I talked over with my dad, and I said, Dad, I'd like to do something on my own besides my band. I have a band called Los Musicales.
Right.
I said, I'd like to do something on my own, and all these guys that are always asking me, friends, come play accordion on my project. I'm gonna ask them if they'll come sing on my project. And sure enough, I picked up the phone, and all the friends that I called, they didn't hesitate. They said, tell me what song or when and where, and we're there. So it very blessed, that it did happen.
Well, that's that. It sounds like it was like one of these, like, We Are the World reunions. Like, I could imagine what that must have been like. So who are some of the friends that came down and sang on the CD?
Adalberto Gallegos, Joe Posada, David Mares, Marcos Orozco, Joaquin Cura, which is my current singer in my band,
Right.
Gary Hobbs, Jesse Serrata, and I'm going to miss somebody. Eddie Perez, he's a legend out there from down the valley, de Los Fabulosos, and Johnny Ramirez from KXTN. And
He sang on the CD?
He sang on it, yeah.
The guy, Johnny Ramirez.
The Johnny Ramirez, yeah.
The guy who's on KXTN?
Right.
Radio.
Right. The one that talks, always talking and got that weird laugh.
Yeah. He sings.
Well, he kind of sang on it, He said.
So you mean he could walk around and brag that he's got a Grammy?
I guess it's the first recording and a Grammy.
I only kid you. I know Johnny. Johnny
Good.
He's a great guy, and I love listening to him on the radio. So you had all these Just Friends. Now you've also been known for producing a lot of singers that came through the David Lee Garza y Los Musicales way, and they got their own success. You had what was it? Ram Herrera, Jay Perez,
Emilio Navaira.
Right. So and they went on to do their own thing and become successful. So my question is, how does like a Ram Herrera or Jay Perez, how do these guys approach you to discuss, hey, I'm leaving the band? Do they text you? Do they email you? I know, because when I got to approach, let's say if I'm leaving a girl, I send her an email and say, hey man, I don't think it's going to work out. I can't do the face-to-face thing.
Right. Same here. You hear it from somebody else.
Really?
It's just so weird. Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been one except for Marcos Orozco when I approached him. He'd been with me for 7 years, and I told him, it might be time to part ways. And we need just a fresh voice from the Musicales, 7-8 years with us, and we recorded one CD per year. So he said, no, I understand. He said, but just give me a little time and for me to get a band together, and I did out of courtesy, because that's just the way it happened. Now the other guys, well, it was different,
Like what? You don't have to mention names. But
No,
how did they? I'm just curious. How would I approach you and go, I'm leaving the band?
Yeah, like I said, sometimes you hear it from some other people. Hey, well, so and so is leaving the band. I said, oh, I didn't know. And then we approach him and, hey, well, we heard that you're going to leave the band. And, well, I thought about it. Or somebody over here is asking me, hey, you can do it without these guys. And I say, well, that's okay. That's fine. Go ahead. Give us a week notice, 2 weeks, or a day notice. And I'll find somebody else. And I'm very blessed. There's so many great vocalists out there that are wanting a chance to sing with somebody. And we're just blessed to have these guys come through the band.
So you audition a lot of vocalists, obviously.
Yeah, here lately, we've been around a good while where I can listen to a guy and say, what, I think his voice, I think he can mix with the Musicales. And then I hear some that are very necios, as we say here. Say, I can sing just like Jay Perez, I can sing like Ram. And I tell them, what, if that was the case, I just call them,
Right.
So I like a unique voice, somebody that comes in and has a unique voice, and it'll give the Musicales a new twist.
Right, so you can tell. So how do you tell, like, that's the one?
Just listening. I mean, been in the business so many years that it's just kind of automatic. You listen to a guy and say, what, I think he would mix in real good with us, you know, the musicales, you know.
You know what you should do? You should do what they do now. You know, The Voice, that show, The Voice.
Show, mhm.
You should get yourself like 4 chairs, you know, when you're sitting there on your ranch in
Right.
Poteet, Texas.
Right.
That's where you're from, Poteet,
Poteet,
right?
yes.
Right, strawberry capital.
Of the world.
All right, so you get yourself like, you know, 2 or 3 chairs, you and your buddies, some Bud Lights, you know, and you kind of just have these guys audition. And if you spin your chair around, then you're interested. If not,
Okay, if you don't spin,
then they got to go home.
oh, okay.
That'd be a great reality show, eh?
Yeah,
We'll do that.
right? Let's do it.
La Voz, I don't know, La Voz, something like that. So now you've been around for more than 25 years.
Closer to 40.
40, see? There you go. 40 years. So
Yes.
that's a long time. I
It
mean,
is.
that would be like equivalent to, like, you're like the Rolling Stones of Tejano music.
Oh, nah.
Yeah, you would be like the Mick Jagger of Tejano
No.
music. Yes or no?
Nah, I wish, but no.
What do you mean? Wait, 40 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad and I, we started the band together, and my brother Adam, the drummer. And for about 10 years, we just played locally, you know, bodas quinceañeras and stuff like that, you know.
Right.
And then 10 years later, my compadre Roberto Pulido from Los Clásicos, we played together with him a few times, and they said, have y'all ever recorded? And we said, well, not really, you know, just maybe we recorded a 45 here and there. And so he took us under his wing, you know, and started taking us out of the San Antonio area,
Right.
to Houston, to Dallas, to the Valley also, you know, and he talked to his record people over there down in the Valley, and we recorded our first album.
So how does someone like, I mean, it's a tough business, obviously. How,
Right.
what's the secret? How does someone stick around for 40 years?
Yeah.
You know, and I was serious about the Rolling Stones. They've been around, what, like 30 years?
Maybe more.
I think, yeah, maybe the only other ones I think are Bon Jovi. Do you remember Bon
Oh,
Jovi?
yeah,
Seems
yeah.
like the other day.
Right.
25 years.
Wow.
So how do you attribute, you know,
I
David Lee Garza and
think
Los Musicales being around 40 years? What's the secret?
the fan base. We have a real strong fan base that have been with us since day one. You know, they still come out to the dances, and now their kids are coming out to our dances. But I think, you know, having different vocalists in the band keeps the band, you know, fresh. You know, every 3, 4, 5 years, you know, you change vocalists, and it gives it a new twist, you know, a new sound.
Right.
So maybe that might be the secret right there.
Right, well, the fan base, I mean, you're like the godfather of Tejano music, am I right by that? I mean, people, they get all excited. When they know you're coming to town, it's like the biggest thing going on, right?
Well, we're lucky to have those great fans, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Now, let me ask you, okay, because I'm just getting into Tejano music, so I'm
Okay.
starting to understand. I'm not an expert by no means. So
Okay.
explain to me, like, the roots of Tejano music.
Well, everybody explains it their own way. You
Okay,
know,
I want to know the
my-
Grammy Award, the godfather
Well,
way.
I when I started playing music, all I knew was conjunto.
Okay.
Conjunto music, and I grew up listening to Paulino Bernal, Ramón Ayala, Cornelio Reina, Relámpagos, Juan Villarreal, Los Cachorros. So all those 3 people, besides my dad, I had an influence on the way I listened to music, you know. And then the Latin Breed, the Royal Jesters, and all these orchestras here from San Antonio started popping up, you know, and playing here everywhere, you know. So I like that sound also, you know. And then it was like a combination of things. Roberto Pulido came out, and he had saxophone with accordion, you know, which was not too common.
Mm-hmm.
And it just grasped me, you know. I said, you know what, I want to sound something like that, similar to that, you know. And I guess that's where our sound came in. And that's what I call Tejano music. It's a mixture of conjunto orquesta coming together, and that produces a different sound. You don't sound like too conjunto, you don't sound too orquesta, you're just in between.
Okay. And how did the accordion, like, I know the accordion is like the big, you know, like, it seems to be like, I mean, Tejano music, accordion go hand in hand. I
Right.
guess, why the accordion? Like, why not a sax or why not a harmonica?
My dad played accordion, and he played the bajo sexto.
Okay.
So he taught me my first. I started on drums, and a lot of drummers say, listen to him. But I started playing drums just there at home with him, and he would get his bajo sexto and hum a song or sing a song, and I'd play along with the drums. And after a while, I got bored. I said, this is boring, you know, playing drums.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I want more of a challenge. He said, you want a challenge? He went to the closet and got an accordion out here, and he said, here. I said, well, how do you play that? And he said, well, I'm going to teach you one song. I'm going to teach you one polka, Nuevo Laredo. And then from there on, you got to take it on your own. And I was very lucky that I learned it, and then I would listen to the records of Bernal, the Relámpagos, Cachorros, and I would pick up, you know, on my own, you know, and that's just the way. That's why I picked the accordion. It was a challenge.
And how old were you when you did?
I must have been about About 11, 12 years old.
Wow. And who did you grow up listening to musically when you were?
The Conjunto Bernal,
Yeah.
Los Relámpagos, Los Cachorros, Los Hermanos Ayala, they're from the valley. They never got too much exposure this way, but down in the valley they were real strong.
Okay. And now, where do you see Tejano? What is the state of Tejano music today, as we're speaking right now?
We're here. Tejano music is here. The only thing that I see is we lack radio in the big cities. You know, we have San Antonio, we have the KXTN. We're very lucky to have KXTN. Houston, we used to have a Kakukuka. It's no longer there. Dallas, there was a station in Dallas also, Tejano FM station over there. It's no longer there. The Valley has lots of stations over there in the Valley, but we're still here. You know, andamos de tercos, like we say. You know. Hopefully it's not going to go away. We just, if we get a little bit more support on the radio end of it, you know, on the other big cities, and even at that, you know, we go play in the Houston area, the Dallas area, and not having radio except for internet now, which is very big. Right. But we're very lucky to have big crowds out there.
And why is it that radio has, like, you know, abandoned Tejano music?
I saw that the big radio stations, they went more Mexicano from Mexico, right. And because there's a lot of Mexicanos from Mexico here, and they support all the food chains and everything, and I think that had a lot of influence of all the people buying the commercials on the radio stations and everything. They saw that they catered more to Mexican instead of our Tejano Mexican Americans, you know. So maybe that's why.
Wow, okay. Because I used to look at it, to me, it's like making like a comeback. Because I remember it was, Tejano was pretty much at its height. You know, you remember like when Selena hit the scene and all that? I mean, yeah. I'm sure it was at its height before then, but she comes onto the scene, and the next thing you know, there's like a Tejano explosion.
Exactly.
Now, this next generation, obviously we don't last forever, obviously. The music lasts forever. But, you know, that next generation of performers, like, do you see anyone on the horizon who can take that torch and carry that Tejano touch?
Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of bands out there, but they're not really doing Tejano. I see young cats that play accordion and have their own bands, but they're really not doing Tejano. They're going more to a kind of a conjunto norteño style, you know. And as far as this Tejano, like what we do and the orchestras, the big bands here, you know, we're the dying breed. I hope not. I don't like to say that, but growing up, you know, you would see the Roberto Pulidos, the Latin breeds, and these guys, and they were at top of their game, you know. And after that, what happens after that? I mean, I don't consider myself in that level, you know. Those guys were super great, but we're still here, but like you said, you mentioned, do I see anybody else? I really don't see new artist that's gonna carry that torch, but somebody will come up soon, I hope.
So, have you heard any of the younger guys Tejano music, if you want to call it that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, you're listening in your car, you're driving. Do you go shake your head like wow, or do you shake your head like Jesus? What's that?
I mostly listen to old stuff in my car.
All right, so we don't listen to that. All right, this is great. Now, before I let you go, we play this little segment here. We did it with Michael Salgado. It worked great. And there's this thing on Facebook, right, where they give you a number, and then you got to tell us things we don't know about you. So, for example, they gave me the number 3. So Mike Robles had to tell 3 things to people that you didn't know about me.
Wow.
So I'm going to give you the number 3.
Number 3.
So I'm asking you to tell us 3 things that people do not know about David Lee Garza.
I am very shy.
You're a shy guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
To myself.
Okay.
I love fried chicken and Mexican food.
Fried chicken? You like fried chicken?
Fried chicken. I can eat fried chicken every day.
Really? What kind of fried? Do you have like
the churches and the Bill Millers around here, of course.
Yeah, the fried chicken. Now, are you a wing guy, a thigh guy, a breast guy? I personally like breast. Personally,
breast,
I don't know if it's a guy thing, but that's just.
Yeah.
Well, what part of the
white
chicken?
meat? Yeah, the white meat.
White meat?
Yeah,
Oh, dark meat. White breast. Okay.
White breast.
White breast.
Yes.
Yes. Because you know, white breast means success. I don't know if you know that. Someone said.
Let's go have some.
Huh?
Let's go have some more.
I asked somebody that. I go, how do I know if I've become successful as a comedian? They go, when you're walking around with some white breasts, you've made it. So I think we should go get some church's chicken.
Let's go.
It represents success.
That's right.
That's what I look at it. And the third thing. You want me to tell you what one of the things was with Michael Salgado was pretty interesting? Yeah. He said it was important for him when he goes on the road to have a good restroom. Isn't that crazy? Funny, right?
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was so. Nobody knew that. So
nobody knew that.
Now that you have that, but so what is the third thing?
I would say the third thing would be to have something comfortable to go in. I have a tour bus, and when that breaks, everybody's grouchy and everything. So if you see me on stage and I'm happy, that means we got there happy.
That means the tour bus didn't break down.
That's right.
And if we see you on stage playing the accordion, and we see a couple of you're like, man, this guy looks like he's got his hands ducked in grease or something. You were fixing that little
breast. I was playing with some breasts.
I like that. All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. Now, before I let you go, when everything is said and done, how would you like your fans to remember David Lee Garza when it's all said and done?
I guess just a down-to-earth guy from Poteet. I'm from the ranch, El Rancho in Poteet, Texas. So I want people to remember me as, that guy was from a little town, and he did good. And that's just the way I want them to remember me.
Simple
guy. Country boy
who doesn't mind cutting his own lawn.
Yep. Taking the trash out. Yep.
Fixing his tour bus.
Yep.
And enjoying some white breast.
Correct.
I like that. That's a good life.
Good life.
Now, could I ask you, could I pose on you? We have you see that little accordion here?
Oh, yeah.
You think can we play out maybe 30 seconds or 60 seconds? This is a treat. Now they told me this. What is it? How do you pronounce this? Honer.
Mm-hmm.
They said this is one of the best accordion brands, is it?
Definitely.
Yeah, check it out. It's pretty good, right? Sir, will you give us a little of whatever you want to give us? We'll take. This is a treat now. Wow.
I'm gonna play the first polka my dad ever taught me.
Oh wait, this is great. All right, so this is the first polka your dad ever taught you?
First one. So do I keep this or?
Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, we have from Alamo Music Center. Take it.
Thank you. Great.
What a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on our
Thank you very
on our
much.
podcast, and it was an honor. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.